Hi, today I am giving a presentation on social conflicts students with disabilities face in the mainstream classroom. And my introduction and thesis are that being in a mainstream class helps kids with disabilities reach for a future they may not know they had, because a lot of times when they have disabilities, people either do things for them or they just don't realize that they're capable of a lot of things. And my thesis is that through friendship, making rules and expectations clear, counteracting bullying, and creating a safe environment, kids can feel like they belong and enjoy school. My first point is friendship, and it's hard to go to a new school and not know anybody for any kid, but especially those with disabilities, it's so stressful. There was a study done that asked two students what friendship was to them. One had ASD, one was neurotypical. The ASD child said, "I think friendship is like someone who is like always nice to you and stuff like that and loving, and they accept you for who you are. You don't have to change to be their friend." And then the mainstream peer said, "Friendship to me means like people that are respectful to you, and no matter how you are or how different you are, they will still be your friend." So both of these students think that being respectful and nice and treating people with kindness, even despite their differences, is what makes a true friend. Peers sometimes can be uncomfortable because they don't know how to react to a kid that has a disability, especially if it is a severe disability, just because they haven't really ever been around it before. And so they aren't really sure what they can and can't do, and it can be really uncomfortable for them because they don't understand why their classmate is different. And so that can be an important thing to address. There is a thing that I found called camouflaging that those with autism do, and basically what it is they mask the behaviors of autism so that they can blend in with all their other peers so that no one knows that they're different. But it's extremely stressful, and it's generally done by those that are a little bit older, especially girls. And there's a quote that I found that says, "There's a lot of stress and anxiety that comes with camouflaging because these students are worried that general education peers will still notice their differences no matter how hard they try." And I think that that is so true. It would be so stressful to think that you were blending in when everyone noticed anyways. My second point was expectations and rules, or social responsiveness. And students with disabilities have a hard time remembering rules, so they tend to get into trouble a lot more often. The classroom rules should be repeated constantly throughout the day so that these kids have a chance to fix their mistake and not get in trouble the next time. There are two strategies that I found that can be helpful. There's a lot of different strategies. Two that I really like that I found. One is called the color wheel system, and it's where teachers have 3 different colors. Usually it's green, yellow, and red, but it can be any color that you choose. And there are different rules. They set up posters. There are different rules on the different colors so that the kids know which rules they need to follow at a specific time in the day. And there's a quote that I found that says, "Teachers need to know when the problem behaviors in their classroom comes from. They can then create classroom rules and expectations that fit the class in a way that is helpful to all students. Every child can feel like they are part of a team as they work together to create a cohesive classroom atmosphere." And I just think that's so important for kids to be able to work together and feel like they're contributing. And the other one that I found is called the good behavior game. And it's basically a game where you put kids into groups and like either tables or groups or whatever, and they all have to work together to get points or whatever the teacher chooses. And if they do really well at the end of the day, they get a prize. And there's benefits of this one is that everyone kind of has to work together. So if someone is kind of off or not doing what they're supposed to, the peer will remind them so that they can still get a point. A quote that I found on this one is that the good behavior game may evoke opportunities to practice important social skills and for those skills to contact natural contingencies of reinforcement from teachers and peers. And I just think that it's so important that these kids can work together so that they can become friends, but also just learn that their peers that have disabilities aren't that much different than them. And then my last argument was that counteracting bullying and creating a safe environment. Bullying will always be a problem, especially for those with disabilities. I don't think, as much as I want it to, that it's ever going to change. The problem with the kids with disabilities is that they aren't always sure when someone's making fun of them. And a thing that I found that I really liked was these kids seemed to have more problems as they got older. Peers get meaner and do things for no reasons. Expectations get confusing, and it is hard for them to differentiate all of them. They struggle to know who will help them when they are being bullied. The experiences they had caused them to distrust everybody around them, and they started acting out and became more aggressive. So and another problem with this one is just that the kids with disabilities start to see themselves the way that their peers see them, whether that's good or bad. And so that can either be really good or really bad, depending on the situation. Teachers just need to be aware of this so that they can surround the student with peers that will befriend them and stick up for them. And then my conclusion is that patience and understanding can help these kids a lot. Teachers need to know their learners so that they can best help them and put them in groups that will help them. And in using the strategies mentioned and others, teachers can create a safe environment that kids want to come back to. And then there is my resources. Thanks for listening.